Blood, sweat, and bullets. That's wartime, baby. Now, for those of you who don't know much about war, let me give you a full review. It's pretty bad. It's probably in like the top 5 bad things. It's up there with like hitting your shin on a scooter. But like most things that happen in history, eventually somebody makes a video game about it. Shooters have been around since the dawn of the dinosaurs, which, I'll be honest, I do not care what people say. It was the best Ice Age movie. Fight me. I don't know when we first realized shooting people was so fun, but the person who made a shooter for the first time would have printed money. Because if you think about it, like the biggest gaming series in the world for some time was Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield. That was also a big one. Instead, I play 2D games. Ladies and sons of ladies, I would like to introduce you to Commando. This is one of the strangest franchises I've ever seen, but I really enjoy it. Commando was inspired by a game that was really popular in the 90s named Metal Slug, which if you ask me is a pretty metal name. Now I've not played Metal Slug. It's on the list, but just from looking at the animations you can tell Miniclip took a lot of heavy inspiration. Commando is a game about walking to the right and shooting people. Look, it was the 2000s, what gameplay did you expect? A fun fact about Commando is that it was the first game that taught me how to use the WASD controls. I tried to use the arrows, but the game didn't respond, so I thought it was completely broken the first time I played. Now if I hadn't tried Commando again, I think society would have looked something like this. Yeah, it's pretty cool. If I hadn't discovered this game, I would have been a genius studying biomechanics or something to cure my insatiable boredom. But instead, my hobby is making videos on the internet about games nobody plays and being addicted to games like Donkey Kong and Crash Bandicoot, which I'll probably make videos on too, I'm just saying. Make sure you subscribe. Commando is a hard game, and I don't mean that in a fun way. Silksong is a hard game. Dark Souls is a hard game. Commando makes me want to punch metal and eat my keyboard. Come on man. Oh, this game sucks. For fun. And that's because this game's age clearly shows in how it plays. When you travel to the right, you better pray you don't want to go back to the left. Because you can't. That part of the level just doesn't exist anymore. Which if you think about it on a more realistic scale is kind of terrifying. Like this guy's entire universe is just on screen and you can't interact with what you've seen in the past. So the game is like an allegory for life itself. Very smart on the creator's part if you ask me. Walking right isn't the only thing you can do. You can obviously shoot, but you can also throw bombs. God forbid anybody on the balancing team showed up during this game's production. They did not balance the bombs. Like 3 of them can take out a tank. I don't know if that's realistic. If there's any war criminals watching, I'd like to know how many bombs are needed for a tank. You might know if you play War Thunder too. Okay, so there's not much happening in the gameplay section, but what about the sound design? Now I'm going to play the sound, unedited, for 3 seconds. Okay, so the sound isn't the best, but you can turn it down, right? You're joking. So I just played the game with headphones off, but I could still hear it. Alright, what about the music? Now, I don't particularly mind the music that's here. It's perfectly fine. Each level has its own theme. I do hate the first one though, because it reminds me that I have to start the game again. Which, when you think about it, very smart on the creator's part if you ask me. But what makes me despise the existence of this game? Nothing I have listed even comes close to the amount of rage I feel every time I die. The thing that pisses me off the most is the cheating. This game just cheats. Fall off a ledge and it's into some lava, you've lost your entire life bar. But that's okay. You have 4 lives in total. Well, instant kills shouldn't be in a game where the movement is sloppy. Come on man. Oh, this game sucks. Oh, but nothing encapsulates instant death like this. Okay, so this is me dying because I thought I could drop down on the rope. So here I am jumping on the next one to avoid death, and I died. Silly me. What was I supposed to do? What, wait on that one, and then I'd be fine? Oh, okay. The entire game feels like a simulation of Sisyphus. It's all trial and error until you succeed just one time. This game's like Hades 2 without the fun parts. Oh, but it gets worse, because you have 4 lives to beat the game. Lose them all? You're back to the start. Get better. Fork score, 2 out of 9. Game bad. Okay, so I've been ripping into this entire game. So why do I love Commando? Well, the other games are perfect. The first Commando walked like a metal slug so that the other Commando games could just fucking Oh, did you see that? Now I'm not going to be talking about the third installment of the Commando series. I tried to play it, but the level was bugged and I couldn't get past it. This is definitely due to the emulator I was running, so I'm not going to fault the game because the game was doable and I beat it before. From memory, I'm going to give the game about a Fork score of 6 out of 9. It was really fun. What I will be talking about is how the first game went from mediocre at its peak moments to being one of my favorite Flash games of all time. The second Commando is like sitting on Santa's lap as an adult. It feels wrong, but you, yes you, like it anyways. We went from like 3 guns on a good day to like 70 trillion. Having a much more versatile kit immediately spices up every enemy encounter. You want to shoot them normally, or do you want to blast them out of existence? Handguns, bows, cannons, grenades, knives. If you beat later game modes, they have giant dragon heads and missile launchers. Comparing this game just feels so unfair. It's like a coughing baby versus the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird. Immediately the levels and enemies are so much more expansive. Each level feels like a world tour. I can't name any of these places, but I did get attacked by a German man. So I'm going to narrow this room down to Europe somewhere. You can interact with physics objects a lot better now. Destroying background objects is half the fun. Now the enemies are a lot better at trying to remove your spine, but there aren't any instant death bits. It's like all the things that sucked about the first game are taken away in the second, and it makes it feel so much better. The game is so much more balanced now, increasing the difficulty of the enemies as well as developing better tools for the players to use. It's perfect. Look, you can choose to be a sneaky guy, or you can be exceptionally violent. I like to do both. Now art is something that is completely subjective, but if you prefer the first Commando's art style to the second's, don't. Commando 2's scenery is infinitely better than the first game. It feels much more lively and vibrant in its worst moments than the first felt in its best. Now, there is one thing I have been neglecting to talk about these games. The bosses in the first intrusion felt like being slapped by a wet towel. It was refreshing, but also kind of painful. Commando 2 does away with bad bosses, and gives you the towel to slap someone else. If you didn't know what that meant, it means they're good. Now, we actually have a health bar to work with, and dodging attacks actually feels good. The first boss is like a normal catapult, but eventually, in the later levels, you're going to be fighting space crabs and samurai rockets. Yes, that is probably a brand new sentence. Check out this sound. My favorite is the martial artist boss fight. Instead of a massive machine, this guy just throws hands and you're in the way. The introduction to his boss fight, he just kills all of his allies to flex what he's about to do to you. And when you beat him, he commits seppuku. This guy's aura. This guy's a legend. Coolest boss ever. I'm not even going to explain the other games like Commando Assault, that's probably even better than these ones. The point that I am trying to make is that in the state of AAA gaming, with shit being produced and forced down your throat, there was an era of games that were made with love and passion. All you have to do is get the emulator for them, and you can relive the golden era of free Flash games. The Commando series is amazing, and you should definitely play it. Commando 2, 8 out of 9 on the Fork score. It's free. Just get it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe or I'll steal your liver. For fun. Yeah, that's right. For fun. Yeah, I'm one of the bad boys now. Pfft. Jesus Christ.